Most days start for me at around 8 in the morning, and after getting showered and ready, I go straight into my kitchen and get some breakfast, and this is genuinely where my iPhone usage tends to start. Sometimes this is just a little bit of scrolling in the morning, but other times like today it's actually for listening to a podcast. I just play this out of the loudspeaker on the iPhone because it's always been pretty good, and I'm actually really happy to say that in the 17 Pro Max the speaker is just as good, if not a little bit better than the 16 Pro as well, which I really like. I actually had this section of my kitchen built recently and I'm really happy with it. It's a nicer place to sit as well, rather than sitting watching TV or something like that. I can actually just chill out in the kitchen and enjoy a bit of quiet time before the day starts. And I'll be honest, I've actually been really excited for today to come around because this is my first full day on the new iPhone and I've got loads of stuff I wanted to do. So welcome to a day in the life with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. After gathering all of my bits and slipping on my coat, I leave my house at around 9 in the morning and head off to the studio, which is only about a 5-minute walk away, but I do always like to listen to something on the way. And I did pick up the AirPods Pro 3 as well, which I'm really happy with, because even though my AirPods Pro 2 were fine, these not only sound better, but they also have the heart rate tracking, which is really useful for someone like me because I don't wear an Apple Watch every day and I often miss out on filling up my rings and things like that. But with these new AirPods, I can actually just do that. So after turning on the fitness app, I dive into some music and just enjoy a slow walk over to the studio. After getting to the studio, it's around 9:15 and I've actually got a bunch of work to catch up on because I've been traveling a lot lately, so emails and kind of old video edits have really piled up, so that's something I need to crack on with. And the first thing I do to make sure I don't get too distracted is I get my phone and use the action button to put it on do not disturb mode, and then I turn it over, and that just lets me get on with work. Because honestly, I'm one of those people that I'll pick up my phone to do something and then suddenly I'm on it for like 20 minutes and I don't even realize what I picked it up for in the first place. So this just helps me focus. One of the little video edits I'm doing today was actually quite exciting too. I got to interview John Turnus, who's the Apple SVP of hardware engineering, and talk to him about the new iPhone series. So that's up on my Instagram now. I'll link it below if you want to check it out. It's a nice short little interview. And yeah, he was a really nice guy and it was a cool opportunity to have. After sorting out those edits, I did want to take some photos and video of the iPhone in the studio because the orange colorway is honestly not something I would normally pick. And when I saw it online, I just thought, but then when I saw it in person, especially at the Apple event, I was kind of really jazzed on it. I thought it looked great. And weirdly, here in the studio, it actually looks really nice. It pops off this kind of green color that I'm a big fan of, and there's a lot of that here in this studio. And I already had these small pops of orange around. So in here, in isolation, it looks really nice, and I'm a big fan of it. However, I have noticed that when I take it outside of the studio, it doesn't really work too well with anything else that I kind of wear and use. So I think if I went back in time, I'd probably pick up the dark blue or the silver. I think they're probably better colors in general. But this orange is clearly the new phone and it is really nice. However, it does work particularly well for this new wallpaper pack we've just put out. This is the Nightwave pack. It's another kind of illustrative pack we've made in collaboration with an artist called Davey Perkins, who does amazing work. And this is the follow-up to the light version we had earlier in the year, which was called Daydream. And this looks absolutely awesome on the orange iPhone. All the kind of colors match up really well, but it looks great across all of your devices as well. So if it's something you'd like to check out and help support the channel, I'll link it below. I also had the new cases arrive for these iPhone series as well, and I really think Apple have upped the game this year in terms of their accessories. A lot of people are using these kind of crossbody straps at the moment, especially in bigger cities like in London. So it's really nice to see Apple do like an official version. I've got the tech woven case here, which is actually really durable, especially compared to the fine woven stuff that came before, and the crossbody strap can just go onto this. And while I don't think the look is specifically for me, I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy this and actually find it really useful. A lot of people wear it for security nowadays, and I think it's nice that Apple have just got their own version of it. Okay, it's 1:20 and my battery is on 85%, which is pretty good, but I haven't been using the phone massively yet, but that's about to change. We're going to take a bunch of photos somewhere, so let's do that. After getting to the beach and getting some pretty questionable lunch down us, which was maybe a 4 out of 10 at best. What do you think, Sam?
You first.
it was time to check out the camera properly. And I've got to admit straight off the bat, the 8x zoom is genuinely very awesome. I was surprised because I'm always relatively skeptical about a long zoom range on a phone, but this was awesome. It let me isolate subjects really nicely, and I got some pictures I'm really quite happy with, and genuinely I was having fun using it, which I haven't had that from like a phone in quite a long time. There's also a 4x zoom as well, which is your proper optical quality one, and then effectively to get the 8x zoom, it crops in on the sensor, so you're still getting the same optical quality, but it just jumps in a bit further. It's more technical than that, but effectively you're getting 2 zoom ranges, which are really decent. It also goes all the way up to 40 times, but that's a digital crop and it looks kind of as good as a digital crop can. But to be honest, getting this range in an iPhone now is kind of insane. You're going from ultra wide all the way up to 8x in optical quality. You just get so much flexibility. I had a lot of fun with this camera.
What are you doing? It's obvious how it goes. I knew it would annoy you.
The same is true for video as well. I had a play of some of the new Apple Log, which is kind of the desaturated thing you can use for pro videography, and that looks as good as ever, but I generally just record on the camera app on iPhone, and that looked great too. iPhones have been great at video for a long time, and this is just a continuation of that. It looks fantastic. You could easily shoot an entire, YouTube channel, film, whatever, from this phone. It just looks awesome. I also had a go on the dual capture, which was quite funny. I don't know how much I'll personally use that, but hey, if you want to react to stuff or just to show yourself while you're filming something, it's kind of cool. Bigger updates, which I was quite excited to test as well, was the center stage selfie camera. And when this works, it was really cool. Someone walks into your selfie picture and it just automatically gets wider and you can fit more people in. I couldn't seem to get it to work every time. I wasn't sure if that was because there wasn't enough people coming to frame or something like that, so I ended up using it manually. But even then, thanks to the updates, you can get a portrait or a landscape photo without having to move the phone in your hand. It's a really cool update, and like I said, I think with more people coming into frame, it'd probably have a better idea of what's going on, but I couldn't seem to get it to work every time. After grabbing all the photos and video, I did a quick battery life check-in and we were down to 62%. So using the camera and things like that are definitely one of the bigger draws on it, but it was still pretty good considering this was at about 3 o'clock. After driving back to the studio, there's a couple more things I need to do before heading home for the day. Firstly, I wanted to edit some of the photos that I took earlier. I must admit, I'm a big photo editor. I don't love what cameras produce out of body, and editing photos I find really fun. And using the Pro RAW settings on the iPhone has always delivered good results, and I'm happy to report that that is still the case. Some of these photos, after putting them through Lightroom and adding a little edit to them, just look absolutely fantastic. Okay, so I've just edited 12 pictures on Lightroom, and usually on my 16 Pro Max that would honestly make it really quite warm, and usually sometimes the screen even dims. It hasn't on here. It's quite a cold day to be fair, but I haven't noticed any sort of excess heat coming out the back, but it is a little bit hotter at the top here, which probably does make a little bit of sense because most of the phone is kind of pushed into this top bit now. But otherwise, yeah, much cooler than what my 16 Pro Max would be. So that's good. After getting that sorted, I wanted to shoot a short form video for Instagram as well. I actually don't use my iPhone very much to film short form content. I generally use my Osmo Pocket because it's just really easy to set up, and then I can use my phone to hold the script or to hold kind of talking points next to it. And that just lets me record all of the A-roll for a short form without it looking like I'm kind of looking off to the side or reading a script. I really like it for that. After finishing up for the day, it's around 5:30 and the final battery check-in before heading home puts me on 52%. When I get home, I always cook a meal from scratch. We use one of those boxes like HelloFresh to kind of get all our meals, and I'll always use my iPhone at this point to either follow the instructions on there or to put on some music. I am trying to switch over to Apple Music at the moment ever since they brought out that import button because I've been on Spotify for the longest time, but I am finding it difficult because I'm so used to the Spotify interface, I can't find where everything is on Apple Music. But I do appreciate the lossless audio. I usually play this through the HomePod speaker, and everything just sounds really, really decent through there. Not that Spotify ever sounded bad, but I feel like I can hear the difference. Either I can hear the difference or I want to feel the difference, so it's kind of a subconscious thing. I don't know. However, I am really, really enjoying the latest Joey Valance and Bray album, which is called Hyper Youth. Heavily recommend that if you want to put on some music just to have a good time with. It's such a fantastic album. After making dinner and chilling out for a little bit, I generally find my iPhone usage actually drops off pretty drastically after then, and I'll just use it to scroll some socials, or I'll use it to chat to people on WhatsApp and things like that. I'm also not a massive player of games on my phone. At the moment I'm playing through Silksong on Switch 2, which is a cruelly difficult game, and that's kind of taking up all of my gaming time at the moment. But I did want to test out what this phone is like when you put it under load. So I downloaded that new Destiny Rising game, which has got loads of really good graphics, and I've played Destiny in the past, and that looked and played really, really nicely on the iPhone. I got through the intro, so I played it for around half an hour, and I was making sure I was keeping my eye on things like temperatures and stuff like that, just through the back feeling. And the good news is it didn't really get that hot at all. I can only compare this to my 16 Pro Max, which definitely got hotter than this, but this seems to keep its cool a lot better. So if you do play games for a long amount of time, you're probably going to enjoy that element of it. After doing a bit of doom scrolling and playing Destiny, it's getting on now, so it's about 11 o'clock, and it's time for my final check-in before I go to bed on the battery, and I'm actually sitting on 24%, which is a really decent amount of battery life. Oh, and I am still using the Anker 3-in-1 cube charger to charge my phone up overnight. I love this. It does your phone, Apple Watch and AirPods too, and it's a neat little thing as well. But that's the last thing I'll do before heading to bed for the night. So there you have it, there's a day in the life of the new iPhone 17 Pro Max. I tried to keep this video a little bit more grounded because I don't go out and do loads of different stuff all the time every day. Most of my days are stuck in the studio editing or filming things in here or stuff like that. So I hope this felt a bit more real. But to finish this video off, I did ask you for questions over on Instagram while I was filming this entire day in the life, so I'll answer those for you now. And the main one which came up so many times is, how easy is it to scratch, and has yours got any scratches yet? And look, I've only had this for a couple days, but I'm happy to report it's scratch free. I have seen people say online that it seems to scratch up pretty quickly, but for me right now, none so far, but I will keep an eye on it. Paul asks if I can cope with orange all year. I guess we'll see on that one. Alex asks, how do you feel about the new design and material, both look and feel and durability? I think the kind of more utilitarian design is nice that it only came to the Pro models. It kind of makes more sense there. And look, I'd be lying if I said I prefer this over what they'd done before, but with all the new tech that they've stuffed into here, I kind of get it and I understand it. Obviously durability, too early to tell yet, but overall I do quite like the two-tone look. And finally, someone asks if it's worth upgrading from the 15 Pro Max or the 16 Pro Max. And honestly, I think if you're on the 15 or the 16 Pro Max, you don't need to jump up to this phone. You're not going to see a huge difference in day-to-day stuff unless you're doing specific camera work, or maybe you make content for a living. You'll see the difference then. But for kind of, you know, your everyday user, I think you'd be more hard pushed to tell the difference. I think if you're on like a 14 or lower and things are maybe getting a little bit slow, or, you know, things like that, then maybe this is worth looking at. But if you're on 15 or 16, I think you're good for a couple years. But anyway, that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've watched this far in and you're still watching now, then drop a little ice cream emoji in the comments so I can see. And as ever, I will see you all in the next one.